Hi guys, this is the Idaho Picker with another logical news update. I know you're looking at basically a clear screen here, but what we're going to do is we're going to do a little art. We're going to draw the Louisiana sinkhole, and I'm going to explain a few things that are going on that they're not telling you. Okay, we're going to start up here at the what you might consider to be the top of the sinkhole. Okay, and we're going to drawer here, okay, and I'm going to point out some things to you. Okay, now what we've got to start with, let's draw. Of course, you've got the area of land and trees and such coming up to the edge of the sinkhole, right? On each side. Right? So that's the edge of the sinkhole, and you got your trees that of course are stuck in here, all back through the forest, of course, that is located around this site. Now here's where it gets a little interesting of what I'm going to point out to you. Okay, what I'm going to point out to you, and I'm going to reduce the size of my pointer just a little bit, is that we think the edge of the sinkhole is here, right? And here. And that sinkhole would come down like this, right? It doesn't. What's going on is that there is a washout that has taken place back under the areas of the sinkhole. Okay, or under the area where the trees and the edge of the land is at, and then of course it heads on down into the sinkhole in excess of 750 feet below. Okay, right? And the reason why I can tell you that this is what's happened, or what's happening, is its logic. Okay, you can go back, maybe I'll add it on to the end of this video. I think I'll do that for you, but you can go back and you can look at the video of where those trees sloughed in. Okay, a lot of you seen it. That video got like 1 million friggin' views. Okay, and you can see the trees when they go into water. They don't go into water, and this land doesn't go into water and then slide out this way. When it goes in, it went straight down. Okay? Remember those trees when they went in the water? They were 80, 100-foot trees, and they just went sink, 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 and went straight down. That's because the area is eroding under the sinkhole past the edge of the land. Okay, so that's one thing that is going on. All right, now let's see if we can now show you something else here. Now let's take another look at it. Let's explain, because you'd have to have water movement in order to achieve that erosion out under the land. So the sinkhole is actually larger. They want to tell us it's around 27 acres. I would beg to differ. It's probably around 30 to 35 acres, if not more, because some areas will erode more than others, and those areas tend to be the areas that fall in, you know, as the root systems of the trees can no longer hold and support the ground that no longer exists below it. They fall in and they go straight to the bottom. They don't slide off like they're in some kind of a unlevel surface, do they? They go straight down. Now let's we're going to do it a little bit in a smaller scale. Okay, we're gonna, of course, we got our land we talked about. Okay, coming up to the edge of the sinkhole. We got our land over here coming up to the edge of the sinkhole, and then, like I said, we've got our coming back under and then going down to a very deep hole of 750, in excess of 750 feet. Okay, so now what's happening down here at the bottom? Well, in order to understand what's happening here, we'll have to draw in a couple more things here. Now realize at the bottom of this hole, it connects, not exactly in this way, but it connects openly, goes all the way down, and I'm going to do a subset over here, a separate drawing, okay? That will show you what's going on down below. Okay, so you have, say this is this area here is coming down, okay, and way down below, about 1,700 feet down, so another 1,000 foot approximately below this area here where the sinkhole comes together at the bottom, and then it just has a smaller area going down. You might call it a crack, but it's not really a crack. It's you can dispose of trees through this hole. Now, where are the trees going? Well, you got to understand that about 2/3 of the rivers in the United States flow, rivers and streams, about 2/3 of them in the United States flow out through the Mississippi and flow out within, well, in proximity to this area. There is, my theory is that there is in fact a underground water system, and we of course already know that that is true, that there are underground aquifers and such. But I suspect that these trees and all this debris is coming here and is now being exchanged with an underground river system. Okay? So where's all the debris going? Why is it not coming back to the top? Why, when they drop things down in here to measure this depth, do they not run into this stuff? It just disappears out the bottom. Then you got way down further below, like I said, about another 1,000 feet from this location. You have to go down and you will come into a cavern. Okay, this is not to scale, of course. It comes into the side of this cavern. This cavern, of course, is the cavern that the nuclear waste and whatever else they decided that they wanted to dump, we do know it's nuclear part of it, that they wanted to dump in this cavern. This cavern, to give you an idea, is if you have never heard me speak of it before, is about the size of 2 Empire State Buildings. So again, this is not to scale. And they had all this pressurized because it was on the edge of a salt dome. And what they did was they previously in the past was they drilled down into this salt dome, and once they drilled down in here, they were able to then pump water down into the salt, because this is all solid salt. The edge of the salt dome actually comes across, I'll show you here, the edge of the salt dome actually comes across like this. Okay, about like that, where it used to. This part of the salt dome is no longer here. It's been dissolved and washed out to the ocean, into the Gulf. And that's where these trees are going. They're coming down in here and they're going out to the Gulf. Now, I can't see down in the hole. I can only use my ability to use logic and to analyze and figure out what logically is happening that would explain things, and this is what would explain it. So now we got this area here coming down into here. So you got this water exchange that is going on. Okay. Let me increase my size slightly. So you got this water exchange that's going on down here into here, of course. So whatever was in here is now coming up through here, of course, and as well as getting up through here, coming round up into our sinkhole. Particularly the gases, the things that rise fairly quickly, can get up through there, and some of the petro. The petro itself is actually coming from this area, likely along in here. There are going to be gas deposits along the sides of these sinkholes, okay? And there's going to be oil deposits along the side, not of the sinkholes, but of these salt domes, pardon me. And so as this is all degraded down through here because of the water exchange that has been taking place, you got the water mixing with the oil, you got the oil mixing with the gas, you got all this going on, and then of course all this is taken off and going down through here as well, heading out. Some heading up, some heading out. It's basically kind of what's going on there, okay? Now, one of the problems again is that there are other caverns just like this within a few hundred feet of this cavern. And what's happening is this cavern is actually degrading, okay? What I mean is this salt, remember the yellow line represents the old salt wall. Well, what's happening is that line is now being pulled back, particularly about the area of the aquifer and below, because of the exposure of fresh water to that salt. It is retreating, and there's no way to know exactly how far it's retreated. And even worse than that, what's taking place is you're getting cracks. Okay, cracks are forming, and as these cracks form, you're going to, at some point, which I suspect that we're already there based on the tremors, the seismic data. I'll add that onto the end of this video as well, maybe, if I have time. I'm already at 12 minutes here and trying to keep this to 15 minutes. But you have all these cracks, and you got some of these caverns here that don't just have nuclear waste in them. There's a cavern right next to here that has 1.6 million barrels of butane and propane. That's a couple of hundred feet away, and then two within about 200 feet of it that have a total in excess of 168 million barrels between the three caverns of butane and propane. Now, of course, if we had another breach like this, when there was a major exchange of gas and not just nuclear waste in this case, if one of these other caverns decided to breach to the surface, and they already are leaking, okay, you see all the gas coming up everywhere. And that's not the only cause of the gas in southern Louisiana. That's the methane hydrate coming out of the Gulf, where they drilled down too far, and now they've got seawater into the methane hydrate on the bottom of the ocean floor. But hopefully this will give y'all guys a little bit better idea of what's going on here. I want to add a couple of things on to the end of this video, so I'm going to stop this portion of the video now. And again, thank you very much, and I hope this explains a few things. So I guess I'll do a little bit more talking here, guys. And this is a map showing where the cave-in was that took out the pad that they had put there. And keep in mind this edge of the sinkhole. Now, when you look at this sinkhole, realize that it is washed out back in under the ground, you know, up to 20-30 feet, and you're going to have cave-ins that are just going to just suck stuff straight down. Hope that makes more sense to you as to how trees fall straight down into water. Now let me grab that video for you. And here's the video of the actual slough in. And I'm going to hurry it along here slightly. You'll see the trees, when they actually go in, they'll actually go straight down and in. So you can see if there was actually land there, those trees kind of went straight down and in like that, right? So you can see how, would I say, that it's eroding out from under, and the hole is bigger than they're even saying. So, just using a little logic before authority.